product, place, promotion, and pricing. So those are the 4 things that you can actually control, and you want to know who your consumer is, because you will know whether they're price sensitive, you'll know where they are in the marketplace for communication purposes, and you'll know what features of your product really work for that consumer. So we want to understand that about our consumer. We also want to understand the environment in which we are operating. Am I in a small town? Am I in a big town? Do I have the ability to ship things via trucks, via the rivers? Am I having to drive it? How do I get my product to service? Can I get a contract with the local Walmart, with the local Kmart? Can I get a contract with any other distributor? How do I get it to the shelves? How do I get it to the consumer? Environmental analysis will tell you that. It will also tell you about your competitors. This will also give you insight into your promotional strategy, because based on what your competitors are doing, sometimes you want to answer that call, challenge that call, meet them in the market where they are. If they are espousing something, then you want to be able to counter that and then look at your budget to see if you can do it. So there are many, many opportunities if you do the consumer analysis and the environmental analysis for crafting the appropriate marketing or promotional strategy. Doing that tells you what you want to put in your promotional mix. Doing that tells you exactly what objectives do you need to have. Because sometimes if the consumer knows nothing about your product, then your objective is to inform. And if it is to inform, then there will be parts of the promotional mix that are more appropriate for you to use than if you were simply trying to remind or if you were trying to persuade. Spend the time doing the work up front so that we don't expend our budget on things that don't necessarily meet the objectives or the needs of the business. Now, let's get to the promotional strategy. Okay, so you got your extra 5 or 6. Make it fabulous. Okay. Hello, my name is Dr. Janelle Bell Haynes. I'm an assistant professor of marketing at Alabama State University. I've been here at the university for more than 10 years, but have been in the classroom for the last 5. 10 years and 5, you say. Well, part of my career was as the director of university relations, where I did all of the public relations for the institution and directed all the marketing and advertising and publicity for the institution, from athletics to special events to admissions and recruitment. We worked hand in hand with many departments to create the appropriate exchange. Before coming to the university, I spent several years in corporate America with AT&T Wireless and Pitney Bowes as a professional salesperson. I also worked in the entertainment industry at the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, where I sold the education programming to people from all over the state in a business-to-business situation with teachers, superintendents, and educators from Alabama, Georgia, Florida, Mississippi, and even Tennessee. I've had the privilege of serving as the Deputy Press Secretary for a Governor of the state of Alabama and worked very hard to sell the message of the administration. So today, I want to talk to you about those experiences in the context of personal selling. Why personal selling? Because the most important part of marketing for most small businesses is the ability to actually sell their product. A portion of that is about selecting the appropriate distribution strategy, as well as getting the promotional mix right. We'll talk about that in another module. Today we're going to a very small portion of the promotional mix and the activities that are available to you in putting that mix together, and that is the sales process. It is important that you take a look at some key things. The selling process is about being in the market at the right place, at the right time, with the right message to facilitate the exchange. It is about hearing your customers' needs and wants, what their objectives are, and matching them. You have to be an eloquent communicator to be a sales professional, to get your product moved through the distribution channel. A part of that is, first of all, selecting the right distribution channel. And what I mean by that is, where are you in the marketplace? Is your product on the shelves of the right store, in the right town, at the right time, the right location? Or do you even need to be on the shelves of a store? Would direct distribution be better for you? Would an online distribution be better for you? Those are things that you have to determine that then affect your sales, the bottom line. If it's not there at the right place and the right time, we can't get it to our consumers. So let's talk about that today. How do we formulate a sales process? There are 3 types of sales people that you need to have on your team, depending on what your product is. Either you're going to have order getters, order takers, and surely you're going to have sales support. You have to have all 3 of those, because in order to get the sale facilitated, there has got to be a support person, and there has to be someone out there trying to secure new business for you, and you have to have someone who is actually going to service the account. There may be just you doing it, but you have to perform all of those functions in order to be successful. How do we do that? We recruit good people who have the personality and the disposition, the patience, the drive, the self-initiated get up and go to go out there and create that environment. You have to train them to do that. Many of the companies that I have worked for, including Pitney Bowes, who had one of the best sales operations I've ever been associated with, spent hours, days, weeks, and a lot of money on training their sales force. They did this because they understood that to the customer, your product was that salesperson. So, as a sales executive for Pitney Bowes, when I walked into the door, I was that company for that particular department or organization. So we had to build a rapport, a working relationship. I had to understand exactly what their needs were, what their desires were, what their short-term and long-term goals were, and how I might be a partner in the process of getting them where they wanted to go. That's how you create the sales process. It's not about you shoving your product out there on people who don't want it or don't need it. It's about finding the customer who can use it to achieve their goals. And we do that by following the sales process. It starts with prospecting, research, prospect, understand what the market has to offer, who's in the marketplace, what services that they're looking for, what products will help them meet their needs, meet their service requirements, their production, and be a solution for them. If you are the solution, they will come. If you meet their problems and their needs, they will come. You've got to communicate that, and then you've got to send a team of people out there in order to be your firm, even if it's you or a hand-selected group of people who can do it for you. You want to maximize the potential of the sales process by divvying it up into territories. Don't have more than one person working the same territory. I want to have a relationship with my salesperson, so when they come in the door, I'm comfortable with them and I know that they know all the competitors in the marketplace and that they are there for me. I can only do that if I'm not selling on top of another person who's saying one thing and doing something else than I am. Divvy it up, maximize the potential through territories. Prospect the territory. Qualify your leads. So sometimes that's cold calling. Sometimes that's telephone. Sometimes it's the use of social media. Sometimes you've, through your promotional strategy, had a public relations special event where many people came in the door and you collected all of this information, and now the salesperson is sitting at their desk going through it to qualify them and understand who is a really good lead, who really has an interest in the product or service, and that I need to follow up and develop a rapport and do some pre-approach preparation before I ever pick up the phone or go to their business. I want to, understand them and look at them very critically so that I know that I can be a part of the solution for them. That's how we create the relationship that will facilitate the sale. When you finish that qualification phase and done the pre-approach, then you will do that. You will make that first contact. But by then I've gone to their website, I've followed their Facebook, I've talked to people in the community, I may have had my call warmed up by someone I've done business with who can introduce me into that area or to that business. And now I can go in and sit down and have a conversation about how I can best meet their needs, or how the products and services that I represent can best meet their needs. And I'm ready for a presentation after I've done that initial approach. Your presentation is key. You have to be prepared. You have to have the numbers, the facts, and the benefits. If it benefits them and they can see the win-win in the situation, which is incumbent upon you to communicate to them, then you probably will have a sale. But you have got to do that. The presentation has got to meet their objectives, not your objective. Now, although if I meet their objectives, I will meet mine and I will close the deal, but from the consumer or the customer's vantage point, you want to always think of, how can I solve their problems? How can I use this product in their business situation? If I'm doing a SWOT analysis, looking at their situation, their strengths, their weaknesses, the opportunities that are before them, the threats that are before them, I want to counter those things. I said, you have the opportunity to do this and my product will answer the call. There's another business who may be doing this, but this will put that threat aside. You must be prepared to do that and understand how to do that in your presentation. You put scenarios together that put that company in a win-win situation where they are making money, and if they're making money, you're making money. And that is the end objective. You want to follow up. Well, first, before you follow up, you want to close the deal. So you may have to go and come back, answer the question again and again. You may have to now fold your promotional mix in and provide a sample or a test so that they can get the feel of how it's going to work and how it will benefit them in order to close the deal. But once you've closed, then you have to follow up. That's why it gets to be very important, those three groups of people that we talked about on your selling team. The order getters, who are out there securing the new business, they're doing that cold calling, they're building a funnel of activity. Because what happens when you have a lot of activity, a lot of calls, a lot of email contacts, a lot of prospecting. They turn into approaches and presentations and eventually drop out into sales. But there has got to be sufficient activity in order for something to drop out of the bottom of the funnel if you want to close the deal. Now, your order doing that, creating that funnel of activity at the top for you. Your order takers are the people who are servicing the accounts. I may have done business with someone else, and now I'm simply going back out to see if they need a reorder. And if they reorder and I make them happy, then that falls into my promotional strategy, publicity, because they're talking about how great we are and how good the products and services are that this particular firm offers. And then that then creates more activity for us, which then converts into sales. You want to make sure that when those folks who have worked so hard on the order getting side and the order taking side to bring in the business, that you support it. Sales support, customer service is pivotal in industry for entrepreneurs. If I can count on you and know that your team is going to take care of me, they're going to make sure that the product shows up at the right time, at the right place, in the right quantities, that it's going to ship appropriately, it's going to meet my needs, then I will be a repeat customer with you again and again and again, and also provide publicity and promotion for you to get new customers. It's a continual cycle. So that is pivotal. It is your reputation about quality and customer service that then help your sales team out in the field, because then they can rely on that portion of your positioning and brand image and say, well, you know us, you know our products, let's see what we can do to address the next issue or the next product, the next issue or problem, and create an environment where we can continue to do business over and over and over again, and then grow even more new business. Follow up is the last part of your personal selling process. I follow up through that support staff and even through the execs who are servicing the accounts, because now they are the face of the company and the face of the product, and my customer is very happy with them. A happy customer is a repeat customer, and a repeat customer is publicity and public relations for the business and the firm, and that translates into more sales every single time. So you want to make sure that you do that. Now, all of this is a part of a larger context of the promotional mix. So you want to partner your professional selling or your personal selling with publicity, public relations, sales promotion, and advertising. All of those things together will help you meet your sales goal. Set your objectives about what you want to achieve. Look at your budget to see what you can and cannot do. How many people can I actually employ? And if I can employ one or two, what training can I provide for them to carry out the necessary duties and tasks to achieve what it is that we're trying to achieve? I want to thank you for your time today and hope that I've shared with you some information that will allow you to sell, sell, sell.